What up, Bucs fans? It's Real Bucs Talk here. I'm Michael Plus, joined as always my co-host Mark Ramirez. And as you guys noticed, we are not in the car today. We are back in our offices doing a live stream for you all, and got a lot to talk about. Obviously, a very disappointing loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team that was coming off of 4 straight losses and just couldn't figure out how to execute. And that's really been the main issue: coaching, players not doing their jobs, not putting players in the right position. A lot of things just went wrong, especially on the offensive side of the ball. And then we go into that fourth quarter defense that just wasn't good either. So, Mark, a lot to unfold. But here we are, 3-3 after 6 weeks of football. This team's got a lot of stuff going on that needs to be corrected.
Yeah, and it's not one thing you can put your finger on. There's a lot we're going to talk about. We're going to try and break it down little by little. And if you guys want to add your comments in the comment section, let us know. We'll probably try and talk on it as much as we can. Now that we're in front of our computers, we can kind of look at all the information and go about it little by little, unlike the car ride where I'm trying not to get in an accident. So, so let's look at it. So we lose 18-20. Yes, in Pittsburgh. That's where I was kind of most worried about. I was like, okay, if we're going to go up there, I thought they would have had TJ Watt. They didn't. They didn't have Minka Fitzpatrick. They didn't have anything of their secondary. Even you before the game were like, oh, we should win this game. They don't have anyone in their secondary. I go, but Plus, think about what you just said. Plus is usually telling me to be logical and non-emotional. So I was like, listen, you're still not thinking about we have Leftwich at offensive coordinator. We're going to mess things up. We're going to do the same old shit that people are going to read and immediately attack. Because what's funniest to me is both scripted, the first 15 plays, everyone says is always scripted. Obviously, our scripted plays suck because our offense never moves the ball first drive, and our defense doesn't stop no one on the first drive. Clearly, that's a coaching issue. That's first and foremost. That's a bad coaching issue. Secondly, the execution is terrible across the board. The offensive line is the first game I've seen where they've been really bad. Like Gedeke literally looked kind of bad. Hainsey was getting thrown around. Shaq Mason kind of got run around a little bit. Tristan Wirfs because getting beat. Donovan Smith leaves a sack that gets strip fumble. There was a lot of, I could remember multiple guys getting beat. I haven't seen that many games where they've gotten beat that bad.
Yeah, I think it was.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it was on different occasions, but I don't think it was. I don't think it was many. I think it was just in certain points where it was very important on that said drive. But when
But
it also
getting beat though. Plus, I mean, they were consistently getting beat this game. Like other games that it was all day for Brady. This was consistent beat. Brady had to get it out last second. I know 2 sacks doesn't really show it, but on a lot of throws that were just missed.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, people were getting beat, sure, but that also goes into coaching and making adjustments and understanding what type of protections are working. And when they did do the right protections on, say, a play action or had a tight end and a back in there to help and, do some max protections, you had open people to throw to. So it's being smart with your flow. And that's the biggest issue with this team right now. There's no flow to the offense at all. There's no rhythm. There's no consistency in how they want to attack teams. There's no consistency in how they call the game. Like, it's just all over the place. It seemed like we were trying to force things to Godwin. Yeah, it was. I mean, they're trying to force things to Godwin, and we just forget about Mike Evans, who pretty much was winning his matchup consistently. Like, what's going on with, going to your best players? I understand you're trying to go to Godwin and he had 12 targets. Yeah, I mean, and a lot of it, I think it was maybe 4 or 5 passes in a row where they couldn't connect at all. And you continue to beat that drum. And also we don't have this up on the screen, but Evan Winter made a great point about Leonard Fournette, I think, leads in receptions and yards for this team. And also, well, not yards, but he leads. I think he was like lead back in the NFL for receptions and yards, which is not a good thing. And then Um, Ryan Suckup has the most field goals made in the NFL. He's number 1. So when you're leading
Thank God
those
it's a game.
yeah, when you're leading those, categories, that means your offense is no bueno. It's not good.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah.
And also, look at the Pittsburgh's offense. I mean, Trubisky 9 of 12, 11 of 18. They're kind of consistent there.
Mhm.
They didn't really get that many yards though. 193 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. They just didn't need to do much because our offense couldn't score points.
Yeah.
And the
They
defense, yeah,
they made the plays in the 4th quarter. That's what
yeah.
hurt us.
And so 1 touchdown in the beginning of the game, 1 touchdown at the end of the game was the end result what won them the game. But I mean,
Mhm.
there's a whole lot more goes into it. So let's keep going. Danny said another one here. Red zone is the number one problem we have. That's just
Yeah.
one other problem in a long laundry list of problems. Coaching is one of them. Unprepared, clearly, because first drives on both sides of the offense and defense are terrible. Your defense knows how to adjust. Offense doesn't know how to adjust, doesn't know how to run the ball, doesn't know how to use its mismatches in the prime time. And the biggest time is red zone offense. You try and keep forcing a round peg into a square hole by running the ball when we can't run the ball. We've clearly shown it week after week. Using Leftwich's line, prime example, we're going to put them in best position to be successful week after week. Week after week, you are not doing that.
Yeah.
And running it consistently with Leonard Fournette in short yardage situation is not the key.
Mm.
Want to use Rashad White in a short yardage? Okay. Fournette, no. Red zone, start singling Mike Evans on the outside more often. That usually works. You can use Rashad White in the red zone a little bit more, but the execution is off. I mean, they did actually try to do that with him,
Mhm.
and Tom Brady threw it a little errantly, and then people are going to complain about him leaving the team in the preseason or in training camp, and then leaving the team on Friday. We got to go to Kraft's wedding, but
Mhm.
the red zone itself, we'll talk about Brady later, is just a problem, a big problem. And
Yeah.
I'll let you expand on that and see how are we going to improve on that plus
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the red zone, I mean, Leonard had that one run, I think he got down to the 1 or 2 yard line.
on second
Um,
and goal. And then we couldn't do anything.
well, I think it was first down I'm thinking of. He got there on 1st and goal, and then 2nd and goal, they ran it with him again, but they came out in a heavy set formation. Again, it's a perfect opportunity to play action pass and throw it there on 2nd and goal. But again, they run it, they lose 3 yards, and now you're 3rd and goal from the 5. And of course, like you said, get a key, allows some inside pressure. I think we end up getting sacked. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's just the sequence and the flow, the execution, making the execution easier, making it, simpler to execute at a higher level, and they're just not doing that. You're putting yourself in 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 9s, 3rd and goals when it shouldn't be. You have Mike Evans there on 1st and goal, attack with him, utilize your best player. Um, they're just not doing that. There's no creativity to scheme guys open. We're not seeing motion, running a guy across the field to go to the pylon to get an easy catch and score. Just simple stuff like that. Perfect times to call reverses. They don't do it. Utilizing speed like a Jalen Darden or Scotty Miller, not doing it. Yeah, I don't think Scotty even had any snaps today,
I
which
saw him
is
a couple times.
yeah, which is understandable. I know he had a one okay game last week, but just mixing your guys up more, utilizing Russell Gage to his strengths. They're continuing to run him on vertical routes where, maybe he's not getting open fast enough. He's more of a short and intermediate guy, and they're just not letting him play to his strengths, which is the out route or, getting separation, and it's just not happening. So timing's off. Also, like just nothing to really put your hat on right now, offensively. Defensively, just couldn't get off the field on 3rd down when they needed to. They were doing great in the first half. Pittsburgh was 3 of 11 on 3rd downs, and then they were 4 of 4 in the 4th quarter
Yeah.
with Mitch Trubisky, and that cost them the game. That was it.
Yeah. And 2 3rd and 11s and a 3rd and 15, and they convert.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts. Um, Damn, it makes me think of like the Chiefs game from a few years back, 2 years back. or the beat defense just needed to get a stop because offense needed to come convert to get the ball back. Nope, didn't happen. But here's that talking point about Leonard Fournette. He's leading us in receptions. He has 32 receptions. He's only running back up here. Austin Eckler's kind of short behind, one catch behind him.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, look at these other guys that are there. You got Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson at 46, 49. Yeah, these guys are up there. But your running backs leading you in catches because the receivers here aren't getting open, or teams are just playing back because they know you just want to do deep developing routes. The fact that Mike Evans only had 4 targets blows my mind. You got to find ways to get the guy the ball. Doesn't matter if he's not in the red zone or not. The biggest time to get him the ball is in the red zone, to me.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, have some more slants, drags, ins, anything to get him the ball. Move him around. He's a chess piece. He can play anywhere. I don't understand what they're trying to do. They try and outsmart themselves way too many damn times.
Yeah.
And there truly is no identity to this offense. They can't run the ball. That's for damn sure, but they still try to, especially on first down.
Yeah.
And then in short yard situations where, they're already not good at it, they still try and do it. And that's one part where I'm wondering, is it Todd Bowles' influence saying, no, we need to convert with a run to get this? Or is it truly Byron Leftwich saying, oh, no, we'll get it this time on a 3rd and 1. We'll run the ball. I don't know. That's one thing where in the past, it looked like we would throw out of that formation and people would get mad we'd run. So I don't know if that's Leftwich.
Well, the run doesn't work because they do the same run over and over again. Like it's the same.
They converted.
Yeah, the one time they did the toss to Lenny, he got the first down. Imagine that. Like change it up a little bit, maybe do some different types of runs. Every time they run out of shotgun, I think they do have success for the most part. But they continue to ignore that. They had some runs out of pistol today, which was good. That was something different. They ran some 20 personnel where they actually did hand it off to Rachaad White with Lenny in the backfield. That was good. It's just they don't do it enough. They're not consistent with what works as far as they're good concepts. They have plenty of good concepts that actually get people open and are successful. They just don't run them over and over again because I don't know why. They're afraid the defense will adjust. You want that. You want to make them adjust. And Pittsburgh ran zone all day today, and we did nothing to make them adjust, to maybe switch it up to man coverage or anything different. They pretty much run a basic cover 2 shell. They kept everything underneath, and we still tried to, force feed it downfield. It just wasn't smart.
Yeah, so I'm reading back on you guys' comments. Leo, he said he disagrees the 3rd down conversions on defense is a massive issue, and it is. I mean,
yeah, we're not saying that.
Here it is too. Steelers open the game. Oh, actually, it would help if I can kind of bring it up. Steelers opened the game 3 for 11 on 3rd downs, then went 4 for 4 in the 4th quarter, including conversions on 3rd and 13, 3rd and 15, and 3rd and 11. Claypool alone had 3 conversions on 3rd and 11 plus.
Mm-hmm.
Gross. That's just gross to see. And big money time where you need your guys to step up. And I was consistently writing on Twitter, hopefully the defense isn't bored today, because I still cannot believe that he said that. And I think other fans are starting to understand that too. I did kind of describe what I was meaning by bored. I think Byron Leftwich is extremely bored on the sideline. That's why he keeps doing the same stuff. But I'm not going to be emotional about it. I'll be straightforward. The defense needs to step up and do their job when the time calls. After that huge kickoff return and to start the second half, defense stepped up in a huge way. They stopped them 3, boom, 3 and out. Okay, they just got a field goal. Huge win. That's what you got to do in an opportunity time where your back's up against the wall. It's your job. Don't worry about the hell the offense is going to do. Your job is to stop the other team. They didn't do it multiple times. They could have done it multiple times for the Tom Brady to get the ball back and for us to kind of try and get a field goal to win the game. They couldn't do it. So, yes, the offense looks like a big bag of shit. Don't get me wrong. There's a whole laundry list of problems there. But it's complementary football. The defense had to have done something to at least put more shit on the offense, but they didn't. So we're just calling a spade a spade. Defense.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's good points. But again, I'm still going to put more onus on the offense because 3/4 of the way the defense did their job. And yeah, sure, you still need to play a 60-minute game. But also, if your offense does something relevant in the first half. This game's a different story. Give your defense a chance to be even more aggressive because they're playing with the lead, and they didn't have that today. Like it's not good when your offense can only put up, what was it, 6 points in the first half, and then you go into this
Nine.
nine. Okay, nine. Yeah, still shitty. If
Yeah, it is.
go into the second half, it takes you to get your first touchdown all the way into the fourth quarter. Just not good. Pathetic. I mean, one touchdown on the day, it's not going to cut it, man. It's not going to cut it. And yes, the defense has to do their job, especially when you have those third and long situations, but just couldn't make the play. It was either, pass rusher wasn't getting to the quarterback or guys just beating their man, coverage mistakes. And you got to credit Claypool on the last one against Levante David. That was a hell of a catch. So you got to give them some credit too. They made some big plays and they made it happen.
But it was truly funny to hear the announcers and even the Steelers fans were pissed every time they wouldn't go for it in certain situations, saying how bad the Steelers offense is, how truly bad it is, yet they can score crucially on us. And I'm going to bring this up again, for a team that was just so bored because they're humiliating the Falcons. You couldn't step up and do your job to be a supreme defense. No, if you're just literally going to make a comment that you're bored, you better show up and shut the hell up to the other team, especially doing that. You got your ass whooped by 41 points to Patrick Mahomes the game prior to saying that you were bored against the Falcons. I guess Mitchell Trubisky, a backup quarterback who got his job replaced, ends up scoring on you to win a game. So I guess he wasn't bored enough to spank that ass. So I'm just saying that. Let me keep going. No, because they deserve the shit that they're going to get, because you don't make statements like that and get away with it. Okay. And same thing with Shaq Barrett last week or 2 weeks from now, before, saying about the offensive line. That's what happens. You talk up, people are going to hear it, and they're going to talk on it and show it and either put up or shut up. Well, Bucs fans, your team isn't really showing up, especially on offense. Defensively, if they're this all-worldly defense, shut the hell up on the other team. Shut them up. They didn't do it. But offensively, let's go again. Steelers' offense was so terrible. They can't run the ball, can't throw the ball. Just insufficiencies everywhere. I think they were near last in everything on offensive category. And the defense, they don't have their whole secondary. You said it should have been easy. It should have been a win, right? Should have been an easy win.
Well, I'm just looking at, I'm looking at our roster, comparing rosters, and this is a talented team. And you would just think talent would overcome the bad coaching. And I was wrong. Coaching matters in this league. And it's unfortunate that we have to have suffered losses like we've had this year and also in the past. Again, coaching issues against Green Bay, you lose by 2 points. Coaching issues again today, lose by 2 points. Coaching issues back in last year, 2021. Someone said Washington, coaching issues. What did we score in that game? I don't even remember. 20. I don't know. I don't think we even got 20 points. But point is, and then Chicago Bears also coaching. LA Rams last year in the playoffs, coaching. Yeah. I mean, it goes back to coaching holding this team, even when Bruce Arians was here. And I know a lot of people were talking about bring back Bruce Arians. I'm like, no, he's not coming back. He's one of the main issues, in my opinion, as far as the offensive philosophy. So with that said, I mean, I just thought, we would target Mike Evans a lot more and, find a way to pull this one out, but they didn't do it because, again, we don't have the smarts from management all the way down to our players, and the players are inconsistent because of the coaching, making it harder on the players, and you can't execute at a high rate because of what you're asking them to do.
And that is saying that, but then again, the first year with Brady, they made huge changes. Who was it that made the changes? Was it Brady and Leftwich coming together and knuckling it out and saying, no, we got to do it this way? Maybe they need to have a come to Jesus talk and say, what are we going to do? Because nothing's working. Clearly, the way this person's calling it isn't working. And we're 6 weeks in now. Nothing's working, especially in offense. And they keep saying, oh, we're going to get it done. We're there. We're just there. You're not there. Against a totally depleted defense, you couldn't do anything. And like you said, it was pathetic. We scored with 4 something left in the 4th quarter.
Mhm.
That's sad.
Yeah, on a
Uh,
screenplay in the red zone, imagine that, and it works.
and nothing there has been many deep plays at all. I think we had 20 plus yard plays, but this is
Mhm.
supposedly a high powered offense. But answering some questions, Flash Gordon asked, "Did Julio play today? Didn't see him on the active list." Yes, he was inactive. He didn't play. Some other people just the running attack is an exercise in futility. Running game is just not there, and the line,
It's there if they call it correctly, but they don't.
yeah. So stop. I said this on Twitter. I would be happy if we didn't run the ball on first down ever again
They
this year.
shouldn't.
I mean, what you're doing right now on first down, just flip it and do it on second down. I don't care if you incomplete pass or if you gain 2, run it again on second down because
Mm,
clearly running a first down doesn't work unless it's Rashad White, and you're not doing that. So just do it that way, Leftwich.
yeah.
Um, but the offensive line, I think as the year goes on, they're going to improve. They're going to get better as long as they stay healthy. It's the biggest key with every position. But Gedeke just has to get more reps. He's faced so many damn good, talented interior defensive linemen.
Yeah.
I know I get frustrated. I'm mad at it too, but I mean, you can only expect him to improve as he's
Yeah.
learned more and more moves and counters that these guys do.
I'll have to rewatch the game again. I didn't think there was many sequences where it was like back to back to back, where it was like shutting down drives. Like there was, I think it goes to play call sequence, especially inside the red zone. I don't think offensive line was an issue in those moments. It goes, how do you call that, and can you execute and finish the drive? They had many opportunities, obviously, to finish drives, but they didn't be smart about it. Again, the 3rd and 1's continuation of getting stopped on 3rd and shorts because you continue to run Chris Godwin in motion. Hey, defense, guess what? We're running the ball. It's right there. You know what's coming. And I said that to, I think I was in a group chat. I talked about how teams know. I'm pretty sure teams know what we're doing already. Like they,
Yep.
and yes, obviously teams know what you're doing because you watch film, and there's film studies for everybody. But I think it's so easy to pick up the yeah, it was to pick up the tendencies of what we're doing. Like people are talking about how the Bucs run certain formations, they know what play's coming. I think that's true. Like it's out there, and we don't do anything to switch it up.
Yeah, because I remember, I think years past, people were saying this is a dinosaur type
Mhm.
offensive scheme. And in one respect, yes. In one respect, no. It works when you have the time to throw the ball, but every offense will work if you have the time to throw the ball.
Yeah, if you have 5
Mm,
seconds to throw,
yeah,
sure, but we don't have that this year,
yeah.
and I think that's why they're struggling because they're not making those adjustments. Like you have to set up protection if you want to throw the ball downfield, and they're not setting up protection at all. They're trying to play on an island with 5 man where they have to be in single matchups. They're not max protecting. They're not isolating the opportunities to go downfield with their best players. And when that happens, yeah, you're going to get the pressure inside, and that's going to force Brady off, or you're going to be late with your throws to Godwin in the seams. And we saw that today. He connected on one of them because Godwin had to make a great play in the football. Um, but yeah, it's inconsistent. You're not going downfield to Mike Evans at all either. Like you're not running him downfield, or maybe they are, but they're just not throwing him the football. So
But I mean, that's expected. He's our number one target. I bet he's not going to get a deep pass, but you should be able to get him underneath at times.
yeah,
They're blanketing him with a deep safety,
yeah,
drag him across. He's going to get a ball. I
mhm,
mean, or if anything, drive him across and then fill the empty space with a Scotty Miller, Russell Gage, Chris Godwin, whoever the hell you want.
mhm.
Just use your guys correctly. But FBX said Hainsey got beat a lot. I don't see many people talking about him. Yeah, I mentioned him earlier. Everyone individually got beat.
Yeah,
Like everyone. I mentioned that earlier.
just wasn't a good game.
No. And someone said, I hope we don't talk about this later, like in a month. Hopefully, we're not talking like this in a month. I mean, there needs to be massive change, especially on the offensive front. Defensively, you just need to play 4 quarters. We were having this talk years ago. So I think this is going to be happening still a month from now.
Yeah,
It's the team beating itself. It always has been, always will be. there's plenty of talent on the team. I was telling Plus before the game even started, I'm like, I'm looking at their inactives list. I'm like, holy shit, all those guys could be starting somewhere else.
Mhm.
But it's not a talent issue. It's how you're utilizing your talent. And I hate hearing the down aspect, like Todd Bowles in the press conference after. Yeah, we just got out coached. Brings
Mhm.
back Dirk Cutter issues, and it just makes me cringe, like
Mhm.
hearing those press conferences. And I'm like, how can you be saying that? 2 weeks removed from getting slaughtered in your own house to KC. I know it's a great team. Steelers are a well coached team, but they are nowhere near the type of talent that we have on this team. Blows my mind still to this.
Yeah.
I just you can't. That is a coaching aspect to play all 4 quarters, and then coming out of it a half, and your special teams gives it up like that. Damn, there's a
Yeah,
lot of
especially
issues coaching.
yeah, outside of Ryan Suckup, who's the MVP of this team so far, like, yeah, special teams hasn't been good, and for them not to notice that Jalen Darden is a bad returner, I understand maybe that's your only option and you're trying to save a draft pick status from not playing at all and being inactive as a 4th round pick. They gotta get a different returner in there. Like, I don't care who it is. It could be Brashad Perriman for all I care. Like, you gotta put someone out there that's gonna go north and south and not play like a little bitch, I'm sorry, but he is, and run to the sideline over and over again because he's too afraid to get hit. Like, I know you're 5'7", a buck 50, but you're in the NFL, dude. Like, you're in the NFL. You need to play like it. And
My only
just
rebuttal, like we talked about this.
yeah.
Yes, go north and south. That's the thing. But the
Mhm.
dude never did this in college, and they said, "Oh, he's shifty, he's quick. Let's put him."
Right. And that goes back to the coaching. Don't put him
Yeah,
out there. Utilize him as a receiver if you're gonna let him play. And yeah, he can get open as a receiver. Let him play then.
but you're not doing
Receiver.
it.
They never will. And that's the frustrating thing. That's the frustrating thing. So that's just it's mind-boggling. Like, hell, let Rashad White do kickoff and punt returns. I don't care. Like, just let someone else do it. Um, but again, it goes back to special teams is always going to be an issue. It goes back to, who's that coach as well. And then also, Byron just being Byron. And yeah.
Ew. All right, well,
Yeah.
let's talk about Tom Brady a little bit. Let's kinda go over his
Ooh.
let's
Yeah.
see what he had to say about the game and everything, and then we wanna talk about his little absence as well, since everyone wants to mention that. So, Tom Brady, what'd you think of the game?
Just execution, just all got to do a better job. So, go back, watch tape, and obviously a lot to correct.
Whew. He's not wrong. It's a lack of execution, a lot to correct. There's
Yeah.
more. Go ahead, Brady.
We didn't earn it. We didn't earn the win. So it's a game of earning it, and it's a game of playing well and performing well. And we're just not doing a good job of that. I don't think we've done it for 6 weeks.
Nailed
I
it.
think we're all playing less than what we're capable of, and we've all got to look at ourselves in the mirror and figure out why.
He nailed it on his press conference, but
Yeah.
on that.
I mean, they haven't played well for 6 weeks. I mean, we're lucky to be 3-3, to be honest. You could go back to each of our wins, and they could have been L's. Like, could have lost to the Cowboys, could have lost to, well, maybe not the Cowboys. Cowboys just played bad that first week. Could have lost to the Saints. Yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, it hasn't been good. Hasn't been up to standards. No one's playing. There's maybe what?
Could have lost to the Falcons too.
Yeah, definitely.
They're bored for 2 more seconds.
Yeah. And then on the flip side, we could have had, 2 more wins as well with Green Bay and today. But again, it just like he said, you have to earn your wins, and they're not doing it. They're not executing. They're not playing at a high level. There's only a few guys on this team that have been consistent week in and week out. And that's probably Mike Evans, Ryan Suckup, and yeah, Antoine Winfield Jr., Tristan Wirfs. And that's probably about it. And maybe some Shaq Mason. And other than that, it's been up and down.
Yes, I agree fully, wholeheartedly, and all that.
Mhm.
He's saying all the right stuff. I'm wondering, is this mentality like the hunger is just no longer there? They won it once. Now that's their expectation.
Mhm.
They lost their hunger. I mean, Levante David's another one that brings it every damn day.
Mhm.
Devin White, those comments, I'm never going to say he brings it every day based on that. he's gonna have to earn a lot more of my respect based on that.
Devin's still making rookie mistakes, and he unfortunately Devin is what he is. And when they realize that, and I don't think they will because they're still not utilizing him correctly. But when they find a way to just let him guard the running back or tight end, and or either blitz or guard the running back or tight end, that should be his only two assignments. And if they figure that out, they'll be okay. But I don't know. They did some of it today where, yeah, he got a lazy call on a roughing the passer, but
Yeah.
you know,
He touched him. Can't touch the quarterback.
can't choke slam him.
On Justice said it too. Dean's playing pretty good ball too. He
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
He is.
Yeah, I mean, secondary hasn't been bad. I mean, again, it just goes back to playing four quarters. They had D. Delaney at safety today. That was interesting. But yeah, it's just a lot of bad on all sides of everywhere.
Well,
So it just got to get better.
Well, and then there's also this other talking point. Okay, you heard what he said after the game. Now let's see what others are saying about him because of him going off on this little joy party, I guess, on Friday. It was Robert Kraft's wedding. So as you can see, some of the comments. Hope you enjoyed Kraft's wedding, Brady. Time to hang up the cleats. You are not committed to this team. Because Brady was hungover. Leftwich should already be fired. Bowles simply outcoached again. So there's a lot of bad comments. Brady looked like he didn't prepare. Some throws looked amazing. Other throws looked terrible. Shows you can't give 80% in football. This is kind of scary, to be honest, because it's like, yes, Brady may have done that. Did he get slaughtered, like trashed? No. I guarantee he didn't. I guarantee he just went for a friend and then came back with a team and did his thing. But because of that little comment, media talks about it. Everyone eats it up. That's why we lost. No, the offense has looked this shitty for 6 weeks now. He's not saying anything that's a lie. I think it's just talking heads trying to spread more crap, and it's almost pushing Brady to be like, shit, I should have retired.
Yeah, I'm not gonna look into all that stuff again. Brady's a professional. He hasn't been playing up to his standards either, and but it's a team game. It's 11 working as one. That's something we talk about all the time. Guys have to play better. But it starts from the top. Coaching, players all have to be more accountable. So this week they got to take a long look in that mirror and understand who they have in front of them coming up in Carolina Panthers, a game that, again, I'm going to say it, should be a win. Got to get it done. Like, this team just fired their coach. They're a mess, but right now we're a mess too. So they have to do something. And to bring the old campaign quote back, got to get your broom because right now it's a mess. You got to fix it. And it starts with the process. And right now they have a process issue. If the process gets clean,
it's a mess.
Yeah, if the process gets better, then things will work out. But they have to understand, got to make things easier right now because you don't have 5 seconds to throw the ball. You can't run the ball on first down. Just have to understand how things have to be better. And defensively, you got to continue to stay aggressive. That's the only way you know how to play. So why stop it? You got to be aggressive on both sides. It's time to stop holding yourselves back. And that's really what this team is doing right now to themselves.
Sad, honest truth.
Yeah.
I mean, I did.
And I know we're being critical, guys, but again, this is real Bucs talk.
Yeah.
This is why you guys come here. We appreciate the support. With that said, be sure to hit the like button, comment down below your thoughts because we appreciate every single one of you. If you're new here, please subscribe. We appreciate all the subscribes that you guys offer and the support. So keep it up. But yeah, it's unfortunate we have to talk negative like this. We don't want to. We much be rather talking about an ass kicking that we did, gave the Steelers today, but it just didn't happen. It was quite the opposite.
Sad, honest truth.
Yeah.
I mean, more talking the whole overall, another coaching aspect, like their big play that converted for their eventual touchdown in the fourth quarter. too many men on the field. They should have taken a timeout. I don't know if that's Devin White, Levante David's job to do, or the coach's job. They have to notice that, see they're hurrying up, and take a timeout. I mean, there's a lot of coaching mistakes.
Yeah.
And
I missed the too many. When was the too many men on the field?
That's what happened when they got Vita Vea was trying to run off the field because they were making a change, and they hiked the ball, and that's where what's his name the tight end got the huge gain.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah,
that was the one Levante was trying to call a timeout, and the guys didn't see it. So,
I mean, but that stuff you got to get immediately. You got to see, holy shit, big boy ain't gonna make it. Let's hurry up and call it because this is the fourth quarter. This is the end of the game. We got to be able to get as many reps as we can, and that wasn't it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of issues coaching wise, not just offense. It's the defense as well. Like you're saying, stay aggressive. You can't be playing that far back on 3rd and 15 and just giving the Carlton Davis one. He just gave him the damn first down.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe that one. The Levante David play where he kind of gave it up. It was right over his back shoulder. He couldn't see it. Some of them were good plays, but still, you lost to Mitchell Trubisky and Kenny Pickett. Think about that. It does remind you of the Commanders game last year. This is the crap. It's like reoccurring things. Is it going to get totally fixed? Hell no, it's not. Your same coaching staff is going to be here. Do they change up the scheme a little bit? You hope to God they do, and you hope it happens fast. And you don't have a better opportunity than this next week against the Panthers, who should, like you said, be a victory. But nothing's a sure thing with this team right now.
No. I mean, they just need to have to find ways to get consistency, and again, I go back to process, and the scheme is not necessarily the issue. We've seen concepts work, so far throughout this season. The problem is, how do they divide and conquer, and how do they call those plays to make it a better flow for themselves, to make it easier, to make the process more simple? They're not doing it right now.
Yeah, plus I'll be right back, but talk about what other inconsistencies you want to talk about.
Well, I got a super chat here. Cannon Fire Podcast, appreciate you for the super chat. Always competitive with TB12. He felt the pressure today. I still have hope they'll find a rhythm on offense at some point. Yeah, some point this year. That would be great. Again, appreciate the support. Yeah, he was in some trouble today, especially with the offensive line having protection issues. But it goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Your offensive line is not as strong as it has been in the past. So you can't continue to run these long developing routes, even though that is a part of your offense. You have to find ways to adjust and make it easier as your offense is struggling right now. Find ways to create easier plays for yourself to get into rhythm and to build flow. And they're just not doing that right now. Go through a couple more of your comments. I saw B. Davis talking about Mike Edwards. Yeah, Mike Edwards was out today. So that's why you saw D. Delaney in there. Yeah, I mean, it's just a mess. It's a mess, unfortunately. And that's what it's just not good. I haven't seen the team show any signs of consistent direction on either side of the ball. Defensively in the first half, it was better because you were aggressive, and then in the second half kind of went away from what was working, and that happens way too often for this team on both sides of the ball, and how they just change out of the blue. Okay, if a certain play is working consistently, let's try running it again. Why not? It won't hurt you. The play they had to Rachaad White today on the even though it was an incomplete pass, him going out in motion and coming in on the screen, Brady threw it a little high and hard. It was a little high and out of his range. It was a tough catch. Maybe he should have caught it, sure, but it was a tough catch to make. That play, that's something you can come back to, and that's something you should go back to, because guess what? That play was open. Continue to run it and continue to make adjustments, or show the same look and do something different. Maybe you run a receiver downfield instead of blocking. stuff like that to mix it up and show different things with the same look or formation, get teams off balance and make them adjust. And then once they adjust, you hit them with something that you've done in the previous series or something along those lines.
Yeah, it makes it so much more aggravating. That play would have worked, and the Saints do shit like that all the time. Screen after screen after screen. They know how to execute it. Even Kate Otten on the only touchdown, mauling guys down the field. I mean, Fournette had an easy path to the touchdown because it was an easy setup screen.
Mm-hmm.
Keep doing it until they make an adjustment. And when they do make an adjustment, you can move over to your next wrinkle. You don't have to keep making wrinkle after wrinkle after wrinkle. It truly is outthinking yourself. Like, it should be, I see a mismatch, I can attack. I'm going to attack it all day until they do something where I'm going to have to go somewhere else. And if they move over again, go back to the shit that worked again, because they're going to have to keep following you. Defense is reactionary. They're not. But this scheme. But to also about the super chat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you said about it, but I agree they're always competitive with TB12. With Canyon Fire podcast said it. If you think about it, we lost by 2 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, the defense kept us in the game. Offense kept us in the Chiefs game. I think we lost by 10 points.
Yep.
Packers game, we lost by 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not losing terribly, but it looks really ugly. Like Chiefs game, no matter what, we're losing that game. Yeah. Packers game, how many damn times could you shoot yourself in the foot? We're thinking, hopefully it's just the lack of weapons. But you had a lot of weapons this game. You didn't really move the ball at all. Or you didn't even use the weapons correctly. So it's like you have a nice shiny toy, no one knows how to use it. You have a nail gun, you're shooting yourself in the foot with it. That's what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, it's not good. I mean, they're competitive, but the reason it feels so bad with the losses is because there's so much wasted opportunities. Like, they're just giving away plays, like wasted plays, the first down runs, the not utilizing play action more, not maximizing your protections, not attacking matchups that you should go after. Like, what was Mike Evans' targets? 4. That's pathetic. Like, to have only 4 targets versus Chris Godwin's 12. Yep. That's not good. And when you see Chris Godwin, he's
consistently doing something that's not working.
Yep, crazy.
That's what they're consistent at, doing what's not working. And they're inconsistent at doing the things that do work. Yeah. That is called a loss of identity. They don't know where the hell they're at. They're just lost. There's no better way to say it. They're lost.
Yeah. I mean, they continue to throw to Godwin when he was getting consistent attention. Like, try to change it up and go after someone that was working, and that was Mike Evans, and try to utilize him in different ways. Like, there's just nothing there creative wise. And third down efficiency was bad, 4-14. That's not good. How many of those were the 3rd and 1 runs? I'll have to go back and look at that. But just not good. I mean, again, you beat them in almost every other category. When you look at total yards and plays, time of possession was pretty close. How many? We had 6 penalties, I think, versus I think they probably had one more. So, but look at that number right there. Red zone, 1 of 4 versus 2 of 3. That's the difference. And rushing yards per rush, not good. Just ugly.
Yeah, you score 1 touchdown, you win the game.
Yeah.
One other touchdown, you win the game.
Mm-hmm.
Just be 50%. That's terrible.
Yeah. 50%. And also Pittsburgh, and this was another thing, and this was like kind of telling me how the game was going to go. Pittsburgh hit a 55-yard field goal, and it hits the crossbar and it goes in. And it just kind of shows you like, oh, it's going to be one of those days. And sometimes that happens. I mean, football is weird. It's a weird sport. You got to have a lot of things working as one, like we talk about, 11 working as one. And when one guy's out of sync, the whole play fails. Or if a couple guys mess up, it's a complete disaster. So one guy right now is messing up on every play, it seems like. And we just got to find ways to eliminate that or work around it. And the coaching right now is just not doing a good enough job to find ways to get around that one guy that's messing up. on either side of the ball, and it's costing us.
The sad part is, are they ever going to?
Yeah.
So here's some talking points. Cade needs more targets too. He's going to be getting it because I don't think Braid's going to be coming back.
Yeah, Brady looks like he has a neck injury, which doesn't look good. And anything with the neck, obviously, that's never a good sign. So you just hope health wise he's going to be okay. He did fly back with the team, so that is good news. He wasn't in the hospital overnight, so it seems like hopefully it's nothing serious with like nerve damage or any of that nature. Hopefully, or spine. So yeah, just gotta hope for the best. But yeah, it looks like Kadon's most likely going to be your number one tight end for now.
And yes, he made some good catches. He's a really good blocker. I jokingly said Gronk's replacement 2 weeks ago, or last week.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't necessarily mean it that way. It looks like he's being a reliable target for Brady. That's all I meant.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have the speed that Brady or Gronk had. So he's just more of a consistent guy at what he does. There was an opportunity where Brady tried to hit him, but it was a really damn good play by the linebacker. Cade Otton just doesn't have the breakaway speed to get open easier. It's going to be harder throws to hit him.
Yeah.
Still, he does things that are very, very good, and he can be an easy outlet when guys like Evans, Godwin, and Gage are running deep, hit it to him underneath. And actually, when I was looking at this, let me bring it back up. The rushing on first down, 7 to 11. Yes, it doesn't look terrible that way, but it's like when the game is close early, this is when we're running the ball every first down. And then when it gets away from us, we have to start throwing. That's when this starts taking over. So it kind of gets skewed that way. And they look too much at balance. I mean, I agree you should have a little bit of balance, but they almost look at it immediately. We got to run, pass, pass, run. They don't really think of, if our running game sucks, let's pass first, then we can start running later. More often. They don't think of it that way. And it's another dinosaur way of thinking, old person way of thinking, I guess you want to call it that way. I'm going to get shunned for saying old person, but
no, I mean, what do I always say this on the show? You pass to score, you run to win, and it's the oldest philosophy in the NFL, and it works still to this day. Like, you have to throw the ball on first down. You have to find ways to set yourself up easier for second and third and shorts. It's not rocket science, and you just have to continue to make things easier on yourself. Because right now you have an offense that can't execute at a high level when you're, it's just nothing's working. So you have to find ways to work around that. And yes, you talked about balance, the pass to run ratio. I think this team, and you said it, like they just overthink
all the time.
They don't look at what is working on said drive. Like, you have to see, and they need to go more by their instincts, and they don't do that enough. Like, when you realize, okay, this guy's winning his matchup, keep going to him. That, like, they just don't see that. Like, that is certain things. That's certain things that they have to understand. Like, when you see an opponent that just can't keep up with one of our guys, they don't realize, okay, he can't match up with this dude. We're just going to continue to throw him the football. Or maybe a blocker has a matchup on a defender and he's winning his side of the field. We're going to continue to run to that side. It's stuff like that where they're just not seeing it. And it's the same thing with like Jalen Darden as a receiver versus a returner, not playing to his strengths. Rachaad White's a better runner than Leonard Fournette. They're not running him with the ball.
Don't get me wrong. Fournette is a good player at certain things. He's a very well-rounded player. Just on first downs, he doesn't have the proper push or get it and go that Rachaad White has right now. Here's another really cool quote that I got off the interwebs. Here we go. Todd Bowles, your head coach, was he saying, we didn't take them lightly, number one. And number two, talking about the Steelers. Number two, I think guys that are living off the Super Bowl are living in a fantasy land. Bowles said, you've got to get your hands dirty and go to work like everybody else. We've been working hard, and we've got to work harder. Nobody's going to give us anything. Nobody's going to feel sorry. We've got to go back as coaches, as players. The time for talking is over. You either got to put up or you got to shut up. Lacey's saying the same sentiment as what we're talking in this live stream, post live stream. Yes, we all as fans should be angry, expect more. I kind of said that. Obviously, the players aren't showing it on the field. They aren't showing the fire, the will to win. So the fans got to do something because we need a better product, especially with all the pieces that are in place that should be there to be a very competitive team. And you're losing to teams that are throwing out practice squad type guys to defend you, and you can't score on them. What does that say? It's not like primetime Revis Island or Richard Sherman from back in the day was covering Mike Evans. No. And you didn't get him the ball like that. Right?
Yeah. And again, the Pittsburgh wasn't doing anything spectacular out there today. They were keeping it simple for their guys, and their guys were executing. They were playing 1 to 2 coverages, and they were just staying in front of. Yeah. I don't think they're going to do that. No. We just got to hope that, like Coach Bowles just said there in that quote, that these guys look themselves in the mirror and understand everyone needs to do their job a lot better. And it starts with them, and we'll see. Got a prime matchup coming up against Carolina. Again, another division matchup. Buccaneers are undefeated in division games so far. So you win this one. Again, you take that step to control your division. And if you win your division, hey, guess what? You're in the playoffs. So that's the one thing that is helping out the Buccaneers as far as this division goes. We're still probably the best team in the division, and you just got to continue. Hopefully, this process improves and we can start getting consistent wins. And the good thing is the next couple of games you don't face great offenses, so maybe that does help you. I don't know, but we didn't face a great offense today and we lost. So I don't know. I'm lost too. I'm lost with this team right now. It's mind-boggling for sure.
And it is upsetting. As fans, you all should be upset. I'm pissed, but to me, it's like sadly expected. And the thing is, they can go up against a really good team and slaughter them too. Like, look what they did to the Bills last year at home. It's so upsetting because at any waking moment, they could explode and do well. And then the coaches will take credit for that. When in reality, what is this? Like, when do you put the finger on? I mean, Leftwich should have been doing this from the second he took the job. Everyone was saying, no, we need to have Leftwich doing it because they thought it was BA. Who really was calling the shots then, guys? Is it been Leftwich this whole entire time? But, I mean, overall, we should have won this game. We should have won the Panthers game. I was saying, okay, we could be 5-2 at this point. No, we already lost one of them. So it's ugly. It's going to be a scratch and claw your way because it doesn't get much easier after that Panthers game. If the Panthers game is even easy, it's on the road too. So you never know. Yeah. Even though they have nothing besides McCaffrey.
Yeah, McCaffrey, again, he'll probably get a lot of passes out in the flats. I'm expecting that they'll, try to dump it off to him and try to utilize him with the run game and the pass. And, obviously they had some issues today with the receivers and getting into, heated discussions. So obviously they're a mess too. Like I said earlier, can the Bucs be lesser of a mess, if that makes sense, and, play better to get a win in Carolina? We'll have to see. I'm hoping for the best, guys. Hopefully this team, figures some things out. The talent is there. That's not the issue. It's understanding how to utilize their talent better and be a more efficient product on all sides of the football, putting guys in position to succeed. We hear that from Byron Leftwich constantly. Got to start doing it. You got to start believing your own words, because right now it's not going too well.
All right, so let's end it on this. Positives. Moving forward, positive. Okay, we talked a whole lot of bad. All right, so
positives, the only way to go right now is up. So that's a positive. You're still 3-3. You're still tied, or well, you're first place in your division, so that's great because Atlanta, we already have the tiebreaker over. That's a positive. Positives, you're still pretty much healthy on defense. Should be playing better. Shaq,
soon it's coming
yeah,
back.
yeah. So you're gonna start getting healthier, which is good. You'll get some, guys back. Still have Tom Brady, and you never count out Tom Brady. And you still have Mike Evans. You still have a lot of talent on all sides of the football. Just you gotta fix some things, and it comes down to the details. Can they finalize those details and get a freaking identity and understand what you have on your team?
Here's my positives. Yeah, like you just said, you have plenty of weapons on offense. You have Rashad White healthy, getting better. Seems like every week. You keep using him, keep finding ways to. They're getting him involved a lot more often. To be honest about that, that is a very big positive.
Mhm.
And to me, you can get this two-headed monster going. Great, they'll figure it out. At least it's happening earlier, and this isn't late. That is a positive as well to me.
Mhm.
Let Julio get healthy. Good. Let Chris Godwin, Mike Evans work it out. Hopefully they can have a sit down talk and be like, okay, we got to be passing the ball more because running game ain't working. And then they'll realize maybe we should just run late because the passing game does work when you hit it correctly. And maybe you got to use a tune up game like the Panthers to do this. If they do lose to that, yeah, panic button big time. But
Mhm.
offensively, there's nothing to worry about offensively because you have everything there. The offensive line, I think, will get better. Time with consistently all five together, they're going to get better. Later in the year, it's going to look good. It's just the coaching. Literally, is all you got to worry about on the offensive side. Defensively, if Hicks comes back, you're looking at a pretty dominant front. Logan Hall's been getting reps, even though he didn't make many big moves today. JTS looked really damn good. Got a lot of pressures, just didn't get sacks. He got a hand on the ball.
Mhm.
Carl Nassib looked good. I mean, you're getting good things. You just need it consistent for 4 quarters. And that's something, hopefully, they slap each other in the face and say, we need to wake up. No one's giving us anything, like Todd Bull said. Play 4 quarters, like head on fire and wanting it, wanting to be the best because no one's going to give it to you. You got to go out there and take it. And they very much are well talented enough. And they had a leader in Tom Brady that can get them there. Defensively, Levante and Devin White need to have a talking together and figure out how the hell they're going to motivate the entire defense because sometimes they get bored.
Yeah, absolutely. With that said, guys, let's all hit that like button. We appreciate all the support you guys give us. We're going to try to, we talk about a lot of stuff tonight, but we're going to try to put, that talk into some film studies. We'll get that out for you guys and try to show more positives that we didn't, really talk about today. And we'll show some of the negatives too, and probably try to analyze how this team is so close to being really good, but they continue to bite themselves in the foot and or the ass, I should say.
There you
go. But yeah, it's got to get better. And the good news is they have time to do so. Now, can they figure that out? But anyway, hope you all enjoyed. Appreciate again the support for us. And with that said, everyone have a great night and a good week.
Go Bucs.
Go Bucs.